My name is Sarah. I live in a quiet neighborhood. The houses here are small and clean. Every morning, people smile and wave to each other. It is a peaceful place. One cold evening, my younger brother Ben came home from school. He looked very tired and sad. He was holding many books in his arms. He didn't say hello. He didn't smile. He just walked straight to his room. I followed him and sat beside him. I looked at his face. He looked worried. His eyes were on the floor. His shoulders were low, like he was carrying something heavy in his heart. "Hey Ben," I said softly. "Are you okay?" He looked at me. His eyes were big and full of worrying. He nodded, but I knew something was wrong. After a moment, he said quietly, "I have a big test soon. I don't understand the lessons. I think I will fail." I listened carefully. I remembered when I was his age. I also felt scared before big tests. I felt alone and stressed, so I understood how he felt. "Ben," I said, "I know how hard it feels. But I want to help you. We can practice at home together." He looked surprised. "At home?" he asked. "Yes," I smiled. "We don't need a big classroom. We don't need a teacher, just you and me. A little bit of practice every day." He was quiet. He didn't say yes, but I saw a small light in his eyes. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was trust. I felt happy because he was listening. The next day we started. Ben had a small desk in his room. It was old and full of stickers and scratches from when he was younger. We cleaned it together. We called it the practice desk. It became our special place. I brought a notebook, some markers, and a little clock. I also made a small star chart. Every time Ben finished a practice session, he could put a star on the chart. After 5 stars, he could choose a reward. Maybe a cartoon, maybe his favorite snack, or maybe a short walk with me. He liked this idea. It made him smile. On our first day, we studied for just 10 minutes. We did a few easy math problems. Ben made some mistakes. He looked upset and said, "I can't do this." I said, "It's okay to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they learn. It's like learning to ride a bike. You fall, then you stand up. You keep going, and one day, you ride easily." He listened. He didn't give up. We continued. Every evening, we sat together at the practice desk. We kept it simple, 10 to 15 minutes each time. Sometimes it was math. Sometimes it was reading. But always, it was about learning slowly, step by step. Each time Ben finished a session, he added a star to the chart. Slowly, the chart filled with stars, and slowly, I saw a change in him. He started to feel more confident. He started to ask questions. He started to try new problems without fear. We didn't do anything big. We didn't use fancy tools. We only used simple things, paper, pencils, and our time together. But something beautiful happened. A small routine became a strong habit. A few quiet minutes became a part of our day that we both looked forward to. And most of all, a small beginning became the start of a big change. Ben was no longer the boy, he said. "I can't." He was becoming the boy, he said. "I'll try." And I was proud, so proud of him. This was the power of starting small. This was the power of practicing at home. Ben and I continued to practice together every evening. At first, it was still difficult. Some days, Ben felt tired. Some days, he didn't want to study. He made mistakes and felt upset. Sometimes he said, "I will never be good at this." When that happened, I sat beside him and reminded him gently, "Ben, everyone learns in their own way. You are trying your best. That is already something to be proud of." I told him a story about myself. When I was his age, I also had trouble with school. I used to think I was not smart, but then I learned that success is not about being perfect. It's about not giving up. Ben listened quietly. Slowly, his attitude started to change. He stopped saying "I can't" and started saying "I'll try." It was a small change, but a big step. We created a new habit together. I gave Ben a little notebook. I told him, "This is your learning diary. Every day, after we finish practicing, write one short sentence about what you learned or how you feel." At first, Ben only wrote simple things like "I solved 2 math problems" or "I made 1 mistake today." But soon, his words changed. He began to write, "I feel more confident, and today I help myself stay calm." I was proud of him. One Sunday, I introduced another activity. I gave Ben a phone to record his voice. "Let's try something new," I said. "Read this short story in English and record yourself." Ben was shy, but he did it. He listened to his own voice and laughed. "I sound funny," he said. I laughed too and told him, "That's how I felt when I first heard my voice." "But you did great." We kept recording his voice every week. We saved all the recordings. After a month, we listened to the first and the latest one. Ben was surprised. "I sound clearer now." He said, "I really improved." I smiled and said, "Yes, because you practice. And every time you practice, you get better. Even when you don't see it right away." One evening, we were studying outside on the back porch. The sky was dark, and the stars were bright. It was quiet, and the air felt peaceful. We had some flashcards, and we were reviewing them slowly. Ben suddenly looked up at the stars and asked, "Sarah, if I keep practicing, do you think I can be anything I want?" His voice was soft, almost like a whisper. My heart felt warm. I looked at him and said, "Yes, Ben, I believe that. You can be anything if you believe in yourself and keep working hard." He smiled. It was a real smile, a hopeful smile. Then we continued studying under the night sky. From that day, I saw a new energy in Ben. He started to ask questions. He started to say things like, "Can I try one more problem? Or can I read another page?" He was not just learning math or English. He was learning how to believe in himself. He was learning patience. He was learning that small steps, taken every day, can lead to big changes. We started setting little goals. For example, today, I will finish 5 questions, or today, I will learn 3 new words. And every time he reached a goal, we celebrated. Not with big rewards, but with kind words and smiles. Sometimes just a high five. But Ben loved those small moments. Even our parents noticed the change. They said, "Ben looks more confident now." And I could see it too, in the way he walked, in the way he looked at his books, and even in the way he spoke. He was growing, not just in knowledge, but in spirit. One afternoon, while writing in his diary, Ben said, "Sarah, I think I'm actually good at this now." I felt tears in my eyes, not because he was doing well in school, but because he finally believed it too. And that belief, that small voice inside saying, "I can," is the most powerful thing anyone can have. All of this started from simple daily practice at home, a few minutes each day. A little notebook, a kind word, a helping hand. And most of all, the choice to try. Every day, no matter what, that is how Ben learned. And that is how he grew, one day at a time. After many weeks of practicing at home, Ben began to change. He became more confident. He smiled more. He started to believe in himself. Every evening, we continued our practice at the small desk. It became our habit, something we both looked forward to. It was no longer just study time, it was our time together. Then one rainy afternoon, Ben came home with a big smile on his face. He was holding a piece of paper. "Sarah," he shouted, "I got my test results." I stood up quickly. "What happened?" I asked. "I passed, and I got a very high score." He said, waving the paper. I looked at the paper. It was true. Ben had done better than ever before. I hugged him tightly. "I'm so proud of you, Ben," I said. "You worked so hard, and now you see the results." Ben reached into his backpack and took out a small ribbon. "Look," he said, "I also got this from school. It says Most Improved Student. I want you to have it." He gave me the ribbon with both hands. I looked at him, my heart full of pride. "Thank you, Ben," I said, my voice soft, "but this ribbon is your success." He smiled and said, "I couldn't have done it without you." After that day, something new began. Ben started helping other students at school. He sat with classmates who had problems with math. He showed them how to solve questions, step by step. He used the same kind words I used with him. He said things like, "It's okay to make mistakes, and you can do this." His teacher noticed. One day, the teacher told me, Ben is becoming a leader in class. He's kind, helpful, and always willing to support others. At home, Ben had a new idea. Sarah, he said, I want to make a learning box. What's that? I asked. It's a small box with papers inside, he explained. Each paper has a fun learning task. Every morning, I will pick one and do it. He showed me the tasks he had written. Say hello to a friend in English, draw a picture, and write 3 words. Teach someone one new thing you learned. I love the idea. That's wonderful, Ben, I said. It will make learning fun. He also wanted to share his story. So we made a short video together. In the video, Ben talked about how he started practicing at home, how it helped him, and how he now helps others. He showed his ribbon, his notebook, and his learning box. We shared the video with his school. The response was amazing. Many students came to Ben and said, "Your video gave me hope." Some even started practicing at home like Ben. One evening, while we were sitting by the fireplace, Ben looked serious. "Sarah," he said, "I want to do something important in life. I want to help people, just like you helped me." His words touched my heart. I smiled and said, "Ben, you are already helping people. And you will do even more in the future." Ben was no longer the shy boy who didn't believe in himself. He was becoming a strong young person who believed in kindness, in practice, and in sharing. He joined the school band. He started volunteering at the school library. He even tried out for the basketball team. He was brave. He was trying new things. One day, as we walked home, Ben looked at me and said, "Sarah, I want to be like you. You never give up. You always help people." I stopped walking and looked at him. I gave him a big hug. "Ben, you already are like me. Maybe even better." That night, we sat in the living room and talked. We remembered all the small moments, our first practice, our study time under the stars, the laughs, the struggles, and the victories. Ben had become a light to others, just as I had once been to him. One Saturday, we sat near the window. It was raining outside. Ben was looking out, quiet and thoughtful. Then he said, "Someday, I want to make a big difference. I want people to know they are not alone." I nodded. "And you will, Ben, because you believe. Because you care, because you started with one small step. This is not just a story about school or homework. It is a story about growth, about love, about believing in someone until they learn to believe in themselves." Practicing at home helped Ben become who he is today. And that practice done with patience, with heart, and with hope will continue to help him and others for a long time. Because sometimes the biggest changes begin in the quietest moments. And sometimes helping one person can light up the world. Ben's story began with fear and doubt. He was a quiet boy who came home one day, worried about a test, unsure of himself, and afraid to fail. But with a little support, a simple desk, and 10 minutes of practice each day, everything began to change. Slowly, step by step, Ben learned that mistakes are okay. He learned that trying, even when it feels hard, is more important than being perfect. Every evening, Ben sat with his sister Sarah. They worked together, they laughed, they failed and tried again. And through that process, Ben discovered something powerful. He could do more than he thought. Over time, he became confident, he believed in himself, he helped others. And one day, he stood tall and said, "I want to help people, too." This story is not just about passing a test. It's about learning to believe in yourself. It's about the power of small actions done every day. It's about what happens when someone supports you, and when you choose not to give up. From a quiet boy full of doubt, Ben became a light for others. He started with fear but ended with purpose. And all of this started from practicing at home, a small, quiet space filled with love, effort, and hope. So, what can we learn from Ben's story? We learn that big changes don't always need big things. You don't need a fancy school, perfect tools, or many hours. You just need a small space, a little time, and the courage to keep going. Whether you're learning English, learning a skill, or trying to build a better life, you can start today. Right now, at home, practice every day. Be patient with yourself, ask for help when you need it. And never forget, believing in yourself is the first step to changing your life. Now, if you are still here, congratulations. You just improved your English listening and understanding by following this whole story. Well done. I'm proud of you. Now it's time for a fun question. What helped Ben become more confident? A. Practicing every day with his sister. B. Playing video games all night. Comment your answer below. Or B. I want to see how many of you are really listening. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so we can keep creating more meaningful and simple English stories for you. Every view, every like, every comment helps us a lot. If you feel this story helped you and you want to support us, you can donate to help us keep going. We are doing this for free to help you learn English, but it takes time, energy, and love. Your support means the world to us. Thank you for being here. See you in the next story.